There are things in Egypt that should not exist, not theoretically, not philosophically, I mean physically, structurally, mathematically. Stones weighing 800 tons moved without wheels. Tunnels carved through granite with tools that haven't been invented yet. Chambers sealed for thousands of years, and when they were finally opened, the official reports disappeared. Archaeologists have explanations for some of this. For the parts they can't explain, they go very, very quiet. 10 structures in Egypt that no one, and I mean no one, can fully explain. By the end of this video, you're going to start asking the same question I did. What exactly are they not telling us? Let's start with the obvious one, because even the obvious one is deeply weird. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, built around 2550 BC, approximately 2.3 million stone blocks. Each block weighs between 2 and 15 tons. Interior granite blocks weigh 80 tons, quarried at Aswan, 500 miles away. Mainstream Egyptologists say 20 years of organized labor. Do the math. That's one block every 4.5 minutes, around the clock, every day for 2 decades. Placed, aligned, and fitted to sub-millimeter precision. The exterior casing stones were so exact that a piece of paper cannot be inserted between them. Alignment to true north. 0.05 degrees accuracy. The Paris Observatory, our best aligned modern structure, is 6 times less accurate. In 1993, a robot camera found a sealed stone door inside the Queen's chamber. They drilled through it in 2002. Behind it, another sealed door. They haven't opened that one. Nobody has. In 23 years, the most studied structure in human history has a door inside it that nobody has opened. And nobody is publicly explaining why. Here's what you probably don't know about the Sphinx. In 1987, scientists from Waseda University in Tokyo scanned the Sphinx with electromagnetic equipment. They found cavities, tunnels, unexplored chambers beneath the paws. They requested permission to investigate. Denied. The man who denied it, Zahi Hawass. Remember that name, Zahi Hawass. For 30 years, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. The single human being who decided what got excavated, what got published, and what got buried again. Every time in this video that a discovery goes nowhere, Hawass is the reason. In 1999, Hawass himself explored an underground shaft near the Sphinx, 30 meters deep, large sarcophagus at the bottom, half flooded. His conclusion, symbolic tomb, filed, closed. A symbolic tomb in a shaft no one knew existed, half flooded, with a sarcophagus. Explored once, never revisited. In 2025, researchers from the University of Pisa and the University of Strathclyde published radar scans showing an underground city beneath the Giza plateau spanning 6,500 feet. 8 vertical structures extending 2,100 feet below the surface. Permission to excavate denied. Formal request unanswered. French engineer Émile Barrès documented tunnels and rooms around the Sphinx in the early 20th century. His findings were never published. They disappeared into a ministry archive. That someone had a name, and we're going to keep seeing it. In the crypt beneath the temple of Hathor at Dendera, stone reliefs that look like light bulbs. Big glass tubes, a snake inside like a filament, a lotus flower at one end like a socket, a wire underneath, a priest holding one up. In 1998, Norwegian electrical engineer Walter Garn built a working model to the Dendera relief's exact dimensions, evacuated the glass tube, applied voltage. A snake-like plasma light appeared inside, identical to the carving on the wall. Austrian researchers Peter Krassa and Rainer Habeck published a book, Light of the Pharaohs, arguing the reliefs showed ancient electrical technology, sensation in Europe, systematically ignored by mainstream archaeology. The official explanation, symbolic. Lotus birthing a snake in a bubble. Divine energy, regeneration, sure. And the working model that replicates the exact visual is also just a coincidence. Got it. But here's what nobody talks about. Dendera's interior corridors have 0 soot. Chambers sealed from natural light for thousands of years. Torch use would leave black walls. We see that at every other Egyptian site. Dendera's walls are clean, like they were lit by something that didn't burn. How did they see? No official answer exists. on the ceiling of the Temple of Seti, the first at Abydos. Hieroglyphs that look like a helicopter, a submarine, a tank, and an aircraft. Official explanation, a palimpsest. Rameses II carved over his father, Seti I's inscriptions. The overlap accidentally created shapes resembling modern vehicles. That requires believing a random double carving accidentally produced 4 distinct recognizable machine shapes simultaneously. The helicopter glyph has been analyzed by aeronautical engineers. Proportions match a modern rotor to fuselage ratio within normal variance. Behind the temple, the Osireion, granite megaliths so massive, so different in style, that archaeologists agree it predates Seti I by thousands of years. Builder unknown. Purpose unknown. A researcher asked the site guard for information. They were told the photos should remain secret. That phrase, remain secret, is doing a lot of work. In 2006, an independent team applied for a full structural survey of the Osireion. Zahi Hawass denied it. The site, he said, was sufficiently studied. A structure whose builder, age, and purpose are all officially unknown. Sufficiently studied. By a man who is not a structural engineer. 3 sites, 3 denied applications. Same answer, same man. Keep counting. Okay, stop. Before we go any further, sealed chambers nobody's allowed to open. A gatekeeper who buried reports for 30 years. A crypt with no explanation for how they saw in the dark. It gets weirder, I promise. Luxor. 2 60-foot quartzite statues of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. Each weighs 720 tons. Carved from a single piece of quartzite. Quarried 420 miles away. No credible mechanism exists for moving 720-ton monoliths 420 miles without damage. This is not a solved problem, but the transport isn't the main event. For centuries, the northern statue emitted a ringing musical tone at dawn. Greek and Roman visitors came specifically to hear it. Emperor Hadrian visited twice. Hundreds of documented testimonies. A lyre string breaking, a metallic singing, ancient tourists visiting a singing statue, writing it down. For centuries, Roman Emperor Septimius Severus had it repaired in the 3rd century AD. The singing stopped. Forever. He fixed something. No record of what. The singing, heard by hundreds of named witnesses, has never been heard again. No one has funded the experiment to find out why. Nobody wants to go near it. The bent pyramid at Dashur starts at 54 degrees, abruptly shifts to 43 degrees halfway up, a kinked silhouette, unlike any other pyramid on Earth. Official explanation, the builders panicked. Foundation unstable, angle too steep, adjusted mid-build to prevent collapse. Problem, the bent pyramid has 2 separate entrances, north face and west face, each accessing separate internal chambers. No other pyramid ever built has this configuration. It also has the best preserved smooth limestone casing of any pyramid in Egypt. You don't design a dual-entry internal chamber system because you're panicking about your foundation. In 2019, a joint Egyptian-German team surveyed the bent pyramid and found passages that had never been mapped. Full findings, released in summary form only. Detailed survey data, not published. Discovery, brief acknowledgement, silence. You'll notice this is becoming a theme. This is the one that breaks people, the Serapeum beneath Saqqara, discovered by French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette in 1851. 24 granite sarcophagi, each weighs 70 to 100 tons. Aswan granite, lowered into tunnels through passages too narrow to fit them, using conventional equipment. Interior surfaces machined to a flatness tolerance of 2 micrometers, 2 millionths of a meter. Modern aerospace manufacturing works to 5 to 10 micrometers. Ancient Egyptians were hitting tighter tolerances than we use to build satellites. 27-ton lids, vacuum seal fit, no mortar, no adhesive, just precision. Christopher Dunn, aerospace machinist, not archaeologist, examined the surfaces in person. His conclusion, machine tooling. No known ancient hand tool, explains the finish. In 2010, Zahi Hawass denied Dunn's request for a formal follow-up study with measurement equipment. Reason, adequately studied. Tighter tolerances than NASA, adequately studied by a man who is not an engineer. Official designation, sarcophagi for sacred bulls. 70-ton aerospace tolerance granite boxes for bulls. That answer has always felt like a placeholder. And Hawass made sure no one got close enough to replace it. Still with me? Good. Because this one doesn't have an explanation. Not even a bad one. The Osireion, behind the Temple of Seti I at Abydos. 15 meters below it, not beside it, below it. In Egypt, older structures sit deeper, buried under centuries of flood silt. The Osireion was ancient when Seti I was alive. Granite megaliths, so massive, so architecturally different, that most archaeologists now agree it predates Seti I's temple by thousands of years. We don't know who built it, we don't know when, we don't know why. Its walls contain the flower of life, a geometric symbol found in Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, ancient Buddhist temples in Japan, and sacred geometry traditions across dozens of unconnected cultures. Carved so deep into the granite, it cannot be a later addition. The lower chambers are flooded, have been for centuries. No complete survey has ever been done. In 2008, an independent team applied for a diving survey of the flooded chambers. Zahi Hawass denied it. Reason given: the site is adequately understood. The exact phrase he used for the Serapeum, the exact phrase he used for the Abydos structural survey. Same phrase. 3 sites, 3 denials, 1 man. Those chambers are still flooded. His decisions haven't been reversed. 1898, Tomb at Saqqara, wooden bird, 6 inches long, sycamore wood, carbon dated to 200 BC, mislabeled wooden bird in the Cairo Museum for 71 years. In 1969, archaeologist Dr. Khalil Messiha noticed vertical tail fins, not horizontal, and a wing cross-section with an aeronautical profile, a wing designed to generate lift. He built a model to exact proportions. It glided, not flapped, glided. He presented it to the Egyptian Ministry of Culture as a model of a full-size functional glider. The ministry committee said, further investigation needed. That was 1971. Nothing funded in over 50 years. German aviation engineers ran wind tunnel tests on a replica in the 1990s. Stable gliding flight confirmed, published in an obscure German engineering journal. Not a single mainstream archaeology journal picked it up. The placard in the Cairo Museum still says wooden bird. Ask yourself why. March 2025, University of Pisa, University of Strathclyde. The most significant archaeological announcement in decades. Synthetic aperture radar, military satellite imaging technology, mapped structures beneath the Giza plateau spanning 6,500 feet. 8 vertical shaft structures extending 2,100 feet below the surface. 2 chambers directly beneath the Sphinx, 131 by 131 feet each, connected by a shaft nearly 2,000 feet deep. Lead researcher Filippo Biondi: the discovery proves that the Giza plateau was engineered long before the dynastic era, possibly around 36,400 BC. 36,400 BC, before recorded human history. A formal excavation proposal was submitted to Egyptian authorities. No official response. As of this video, in archaeology, awaiting peer review has historically been used to park inconvenient discoveries indefinitely. 1987, Sphinx cavities found, further investigation needed. 1999, Osiris shaft explored, findings never released. 2002, second sealed door found inside the pyramid, no follow-up. 2006, Abydos survey denied. 2008, Osireion dive denied. 2010, Serapeum access blocked. Discovery, brief acknowledgement, silence, every single time. Zahi Hawass left office in 2011. The archives he locked are still locked. The doors he closed are still closed. New discovery, new request, new silence. Here's what I want to leave you with. I'm not saying ancient astronauts. I'm not saying alien artifacts. What I'm saying is more uncomfortable than either of those things. The official story of ancient Egypt does not explain sarcophagi machined to tighter tolerances than NASA components. It does not explain underground structures detected by 3 independent scientific teams beneath the Sphinx. It does not explain the sealed second door inside the Great Pyramid we drilled through 23 years ago and never mentioned again. and it does not explain how one man, for 30 years, was allowed to be the single gatekeeper between the public and the evidence. The evidence is there, carved in stone, in radar data, in engineering reports nobody funds follow-up research on. Someone built these things. Something is buried under them. And the question of why we're not being allowed to look, that question has an answer. We just have to keep asking it. Every location in this video is real. Every door is still closed. Dead coordinates start with the Serapeum. Look up Christopher Dunn's engineering analysis. Read the Biondi Malanga paper, then come back here, because the next one is even harder to explain. Subscribe, and welcome to Dead Coordinates.